to Minnesota Black Robe Regiment, or welcome back if this is one of many times that you've been here. I had, for this video, I initially had planned to talk about several topics, which I will be getting to in future videos, but in doing some research for these other topics, I ran across an article on heavy.com about I will refer to him as a young man. His name is Alejandro Villanueva, excuse me. And Alejandro is a football player for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, in my personal, private life away from what I do with this channel, I have to confess I have absolutely nothing but disdain for the vast majority of what passes for professional sports and athletes these days. Now, there are some exceptions to that. Some of what I feel by way of disdain for professional sports and most of the athletes who consider themselves to be professional comes from much of the same reason that I feel such disdain for most celebrities today. And a lot of that comes from the fact that they feel it necessary to force their political agenda, their worldview, ideology, onto the American people. We don't really see that played out in a lot of other venues in the same way that we see it played out in professional athletics today. The painting of Black Lives Matter onto baseball fields, in baseball stadiums, the painting of Black Lives Matter onto football fields, being plastered on jerseys, on helmets. The freedom that the players have, and clearly it's their constitutional right to protest against America, to protest against whatever it is that they feel to be protest worthy, is certainly there, and I support their right to do that. I served my country to defend their right to do that, and I would continue to defend their right to do it. But I will also continue to defend the rights of all people who come out and call them what they are. The vast majority of professional athletes today are spoiled, rotten prima donnas who are thuggish in their behavior, who are criminal in their mindset, and that is not a description of any single ethnicity. That is just across the board what you see from people in professional sports these days. There is a privileged, pampered, criminal, thuggish mindset in many of them. They live a thuggish, criminal lifestyle. Oftentimes being able to get away with things that the average person would never dream of being able to get away with for no other reason than the fact that they're famous, or they play for a professional football team. And that has then been incorporated into the way they conduct themselves on the field, the people that they throw themselves behind, and take, for instance, the situation in Kenosha, Wisconsin, with the officer-involved shooting of the man who fought with law enforcement officers, who was a rapist. He's a rapist. And professional football players and others are writing his name on their jerseys, putting his name on their helmets, and putting his name out there for the sake of pointing out how evil and rotten and systematically racist the law enforcement career field is. So no, I have no respect for the vast majority of professional sports or professional athletes. Some of that changed tonight. as I was researching other videos. I came across this. It was not intentional. I wasn't out looking for it, but I came across this article there again on heavy.com. It says Antoine Rose's mother calls out Steelers Alejandro Villanueva. Now, a little bit about Alejandro. Okay, Alejandro is an United States Army Ranger. He's a veteran of several deployments in war zones. He received a Bronze Star. He is, by all intents and purposes, and I don't know the history behind his Bronze Star, maybe, I don't know if I want to really get into it all that much, to be honest with you. You know, it's not important. It wouldn't matter if he received a Bronze Star. But what matters about this is, here's a veteran of the United States military. He is a American citizen, played for West Point, played for the Army Black Knights. He left the military service as a captain. He was, once again, deployed to the war zone several times, receives an award, and in his game, I want to say it was on Monday night, he chose to go against the grain of the rest of his team and put the name of a deceased service member on his uniform. The team had voted to put the name of this Antoine Rose on their uniform. I'm not going to get into the background of Antoine Rose. He died as a result of an encounter with law enforcement. I don't know the story, and I don't care to know the story. And I know that sounds harsh, because here's the deal. The man whose name that he decided to put on his uniform died a hero. He was killed in the line of duty after rescuing members of his unit when their vehicle rolled over an IED, and he rescued them. He suffered burns so severe that he died a short time after receiving those burns. The United States is going to posthumously award this African American man the Medal of Honor. That is who Alejandro Villanueva chose to honor when he stepped out on the field the other day. And Antoine Rose's mother calls him out on Facebook for this. And here's what she said. The Pittsburgh Steelers took a team vote. Obviously, one person didn't like the results, so they chose to do something different. I have nothing against vets and absolutely appreciate everything they have done and continue to do for us. But this one person showed us exactly who he is, and obviously he didn't approve of how the vote turned out. And you want to know what, madam? Captain Villanueva, by all accounts, himself a decorated hero in the United States military, chose to honor an African American man who died in service to his country, who rescued other Americans, and you, madam, have decided to take issue with that, calling him out. And I am sorry for the tragic loss of your son's life. And I mean that. I'm sorry that your son is dead. But it is absolutely disgusting that this gets your ire. And it's absolutely disgusting that the media picks up this story and portrays it as if somehow this man, that somehow Alejandro Villanueva, is a bad guy for not doing what the rest of the team voted to do. This man served his country to defend not only their right to put your son's name on their uniform and go out on the field and represent him as a victim of police brutality, but he also went out and served his country and put his life on the line, whether you agree with the war in Afghanistan, whether or not you agree with the war in Iraq. He went out and served his country valiantly. And he is choosing to honor the valiant sacrifice of another man, Alwyn Cashe. I'm sure I'm saying that name wrong. He served his country so he too would have that freedom. Is this where we are in the United States today? Is this where we are as a country? Where a decorated veteran, an Army Ranger, an Army paratrooper, a veteran of the 10th Mountain Division as well, serves in numerous war zones, receives a medal, honors another soldier who is about to receive the Medal of Honor after his death. And the media, and you, madam, and the rest of his team are going to take issue with that. We should be applauding Alejandro Villanueva, not only for his own service, but for having the temerity, for having the intestinal fortitude to stand up against the prevailing winds of culture, to honor a black man who laid his life down for his fellow soldiers. You have a whole team honoring your son, madam. A whole team. One man chooses to honor someone else. And you want to be angry about it. His team, apparently, somewhat frustrated. Coach Mike Tomlin confirmed that he gave Villanueva permission to change what appeared on his helmet. And here's what he said. As an organization, and myself as the head coach of the organization, we're going to support our players however they choose to participate and express themselves, or to not participate and express themselves, as long as they do so thoughtfully and with class. Antoine Rose's mother, Miss Kenny, excuse me. The Steelers came to me as a team, as an organization, and I don't care how good of an individual you are, if you are not a team player, then maybe you are playing for the wrong team. Catch that, America. If you don't toe the line, if you don't get sucked up into this vacuous vacuum of social justice, make sure everybody knows how bad the cops are mentality, you're going to be called out and told you're not a team player. It's a football game following the remembrance of September 11th, 2001, just a few days before. This soldier, this veteran, honors a veteran who died in service to his country because of the events of September 11th, 2001. And this shallow woman, and the shallow prevailing culture of our country today, are going to villainize Alejandro Villanueva. It's disgusting. He deserves to be applauded. He deserves to have people stand alongside of him and thank him for his service to the country, and thank him for what he did by walking out that night with a different name on his helmet, for honoring an American hero. And I don't say things like this very often. I'm over the hero stuff. But this man did something heroic by honoring someone who did something truly heroic. Shame on you, America. Shame on you, Pittsburgh Steelers, for pointing this out and making a big deal out of it. And I applaud you, Alejandro Villanueva. Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you did in that game. Do not back down. Stand strong. Be of good courage. Resist the cultural trend. Resist the social tyranny.